Press go like.
This video is brought to you by our supporters on Patreon. If you want to be part of the community that makes content like this, head over now.
Hello and welcome everyone to a second live on Good Areas. I am Saurabh Sobhani. I have Jared Kimber and Shayan Ahmed Khan with me. We are going to talk about the IPL retentions and trades and releases and why KKR were absolutely wrong to release Andre Russell. So we will just go through each team and get our thoughts on it. So if we can just do this team by team. I think Jared, you have the first slide.
I've got so many slides for you.
Yeah.
Do we just go through to Kolkata so we can start with Andre Russell? No, we won't. They're too far back. They're too far. Okay, Chennai.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, no major surprises there. I wasn't particularly surprised that they released Patirana. We knew that Jadeja and Sam Curran are going anyway. I wasn't particularly surprised given his price and given the fall off in his bowling. I wasn't particularly surprised that they released Patirana, but the rest, of course, they released everyone who composed their middle order and slightly top order last year because they were not making runs.
Okay, the one that me and Robbie talked about the other day is Deepak Hooda. The fact that he's in form at the moment, and also he was on a really small deal. I think I might have kept him around. I think other than that, I'm pretty happy with that. Patirana, I still think Patirana's worth picking back up, but you just can't pay him what he was being paid.
Exactly.
At the moment. But I would definitely be keeping an eye on him. I don't think there's anyone else here. Like, I think I'm pretty well known as the world's leading Rahul Tripathi fan. Even I probably would have let Rahul Tripathi go by this point. And obviously, when it comes to Sam Curran as well, I probably would have happily traded him away or let him go or whatever they needed to do there. So I think that would have been pretty fine. This looks fine to me. 41 crore. What does that allow them to do? What do they need? Let's go back to this slide.
That allows them to push Cam Green's price up to 30 crore because Kolkata have 64 crores.
I mean, they've got Nathan Ellis and Jamie Overton, so they probably need one more overseas bowler in that, right? Overseas seamer. They don't need another overseas spinner. Are they also interested in some sort of, now that they've got rid of a couple of all-rounders, are they on the lookout for an all-rounder? I mean, is Jamie Overton not a weird keep in all of this?
I think he played a few games for them last season. Yeah, Shan, you were saying something.
Yeah, basically it's weird that they've not kept Rachin, I think, because he's still a young player and I feel he's talented enough. So they could have probably kept him. I don't think he was on a very high price, was he? From memory, it was around 4 crore or something like that. But I'll check that once.
Yeah, I think you're right. That makes sense as well. So I think the only other thing I would say is that they definitely probably need one more local spinner, don't they, as well, in this lineup?
Yeah,
I mean, Ravi Bishnoi is in the auction.
Yeah.
Ravi Bishnoi is in the auction, so
I think someone's already. He says someone's already super chatted that as well. I don't think there's no way you're not playing Noor Ahmed.
Yeah, there's no way
in any situation. But I think you need an Indian spinner anyway. You probably just want like maybe one more in that squad. So one more overseas bowler, one more Indian spinner, and then whatever all-rounder that you can kind of find.
Yeah, something to beef up their middle order, I think. Because
lower
at
middle
the
order?
moment, lower middle order rather. So their top 4, I think, is more or less sorted at the moment. Dhoni will be like at number 7, number 8, somewhere around that. So they need that number 5, 6, 7 slots. I don't feel very confident about that at the moment. Do you guys?
No.
Shivam Dubey will be 5, right? Shivam Dubey.
Yeah, Dubey can be 5, fine.
They might.
Yeah,
I mean,
so they have a top 5.
bowling more now. Maybe they just bowl him more. Right?
Yeah, he is bowling now. That is true.
He go at about 13 runs and over in that tournament. So yeah, they've got a bit of money to play with. Not a massive amount.
So, Rajasthan. Yeah, I think there was some talk about whether they would release Shimron Hetmeyer or not. They have kept him on for 11 crore, which is... I was a little surprised they released Nitish Rana. I thought he did well for them last season. They've also released a whole lot of Indian bowlers. Kumar Karthikeya, who I know you like, Jared, he's up. Actually, he could be a budget Indian spinner buy. Like everyone would be going for Ravi Bishnoi,
Yeah.
but you could go for a Kumar Karthikeya instead. He can. And
They've actually got rid of 3 spinners, right?
yeah.
So does that mean they're going to have a green pitch?
It wasn't particularly spin friendly anyway, right? The Jaipur pitch. But and also they are playing 4 matches in Jaipur, 3 in Guwahati or 2 in Guwahati, 1 somewhere else. It's a little scattered, their home ground advantage.
They don't have much money left, right? Like they've got 16 crore left, and it looks a very thin squad at the moment to me. So maybe they are going to, maybe because they've got this young core. I mean, not including Jadeja and that, but they've got Suryavanshi and Jaiswal and Jarrell and Rian Parag and all these guys. Maybe what they are thinking is they can pick up, maybe this is a good crop of younger players and they can pick up a bunch of younger players that come through here. But you look at that and they've got rid of the 2 spinners, the overseas spinners that they had as well. And that the bowling depth is Deshpande, Sam Curran, Jofra Archer. Am I missing someone else who can bowl? Oh, Sandeep Sharma. It's not.
What do you
lot
make of Donovan Ferreira being traded in? And they upped his price. Like he was bought for 75 lakhs. They are paying him 1 crore.
I think everyone's quite excited about him. I just very rarely seen him ever look like he's very good. So I've heard lots of things from other people telling me how good he is, but I've never really seen that. But he can't bowl, can he?
He's a good spin hitter, I think. So that's a sort of box that he can tick off. But I'm not so sure if he can do it in Asia, because how much did he even play in the last IPL? Not much, right? And so I think that's still one aspect of his game that is a bit untested, so to say.
But don't you think, looking at this, the bigger issue is bowling?
Yeah,
Because
is
at
what-
this stage,
bowling.
Curran has to bowl quite a bit, and he's,
Yeah.
I know me and Robbie disagree, but he's certainly not in your first 3 bowlers anymore, right? Like Deshpande is always up and down. I don't think Deshpande could tell you how good he's going to be on a day-to-day basis, but he's been bowling well. Sandeep Sharma, fine. Jofra Archer, fine. It looks a bit weird after that, doesn't it?
Yudhvir Singh
Yeah.
is, potentially a good seamer.
Yep,
that
potentially.
they have.
Or potentially it's a year too early.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, so they need bowlers for sure.
This feels like a transition into, like, maybe what they do is they just hire a bunch of, they've got all the young batters, right? Hire a bunch of young bowlers and hope that 2 of them come off. And I don't see this as a winning the IPL team unless the batters just make 250 consistently. Just because that bowling at the moment, if Jofra Archer takes new ball wickets and Sandeep is good, it's not the worst, but there's not a lot of depth there. And they're going to have to find some kind of spin. Do they go after Bishnoi? They've only got 16 crore.
Yeah, that is the bigger concern, right? They've sort of let go of most of their bowlers now, and they still don't have a lot of purse. So that's a bit interesting, I think. Let's see how they go ahead with that.
Yeah, that's a bit weird. Lucknow.
Saurabh,
the main
I'll
thing I want to ask about Lucknow.
Yeah,
tell me,
I'll
Shah.
just correct you for a minute. So actually, Rakshat has put in a chat saying that there is a bit of an error in the Lucknow graphics. So we'll come back to that later.
Oh, we're not doing Lucknow. Okay.
Oh.
We'll skip them.
Okay. I wanted to ask about Lucknow. Why would they trade in Arjun Tendulkar?
Let's
brought
put a
in,
spin in that for a minute, and we'll come back to it when we come here. Let's do Delhi now. So let's have a look at Delhi. They've got 22 crore. So Faf went.
Yeah.
I kind of thought that Faf would go, and Robbie talked me out of it. But I could see why we're in that situation. Fraser McGurk, I think we all knew that I think paying him what they did was a reasonable gamble, but it didn't work. So that's fair enough. And obviously they traded away Ferreira, right? Are there any other notes from this?
No, I think Faf, I could, in the chat you had with Robbie, I could kind of see the point of keeping him because he was just at 2 crore. But if you are being very ruthless about it, and what if, you are bidding for a player you want and it goes up to some 15, and then you think that, if I had 1 or 2 crore more, I could have swung this. So that's why they've let go of Faf. I like that they got Nitish Rana. I think it fills up a slightly a hole that they had in the top order. We still don't know where KL Rahul will bat, right? He was batting in the middle order last time. We don't know if he'll continue to do that. But
I think it's interesting that they've kept Chimera and Stuck.
Yeah, they've kept both.
and Natarajan.
Well, you have to keep Natarajan, don't you? Because there isn't really a replacement for him. I know he is probably not going to be fit, which we're all aware of beforehand. But you have to keep him, don't you? There isn't another version out there. It's an interesting looking squad.
Who opens for them actually? I think Rahul might have to open because there's only Abhishek Porel that I can see.
Can Rahul still be traded?
So I would assume technically he could, because see, that's what happened with the Hardik Pandya Cameron Green triple trade. That Mumbai first put out a team that had Cam Green in it, and then there was a late trade to RCB, and then it got changed. So I would assume technically that is possible, but I was watching the show where Hemang Badani, the coach, came and said that I don't know where all these rumors come from. KL Rahul, I was going to say Rahul Dravid. KL Rahul is very much at home and he's going to stay here. So I don't know if we put any weight to that, then I don't think they're looking to trade KL Rahul out.
I think they are definitely looking at trading KL Rahul.
They are? Okay. So then we can't put too much weight on what he said.
I mean, he may not know, or he may just be trying to deflect, but
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that there have been conversations, right? I don't think that's we don't want KRL. I think they're just looking for something from another team that they think can help them a little bit more. But yeah, it's interesting. Again, this doesn't really scream title-winning team, does it? Looking at this on paper.
It feels like they can reach the playoff, and then you need like a couple of guys to have 2 or 3 really good days. Because
Even last season it seemed like that.
Yes, because you have a Stark, you have a Kuldeep, Akshar, Natarajan. That looks like a good bowling attack. Vipraj Nigam was quite good last year. And you have, you don't have maybe role-specific batters, but you have batters, like you have a Tristan Stubbs who's really, I guess, the standout batter. You have Ashutosh Sharma, who's I think quite underrated. And then you have KL Rahul. So there is something there. Akshar Patel can come up as a spin hitter. There is stuff there. So I wouldn't rule a playoff spot out.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of holes, though, that needs to be filled with only 22 crores. So they might be able to get Tikshana or Hasaranga cheap, right? Or Zampa, whoever they want as their backup overseas spinner. I think that's fine. They'll be able to get that without too much problems. It just feels that it's like 1 or 2 major players short, and they don't have maybe enough money because they don't have many overseas players in the squad. They're going to have to get a couple of them. So either they get development players. I think with Rajasthan, you can see maybe where they're aiming. I'm not sure I could quite see what Delhi are trying to do with this side at the moment.
Is Ben Duckett going to be in the auction?
I would assume so. Ben Duckett's on a PR tour. Have you guys seen? He's like, every time I open my phone, I get like 83 videos on Ben Duckett. He's talking to Athers. He's on all these different podcasts. It's just like, Ben Duckett's just gone to Australia and just been like, I'm going to become a podcaster. And it's funny because I remember talking to Gareth Batty a few years ago about who's going to be the next great broadcaster in cricket. And I expected him to say Stuart Broad because that's what players say, right? And he's like, Ben Duckett.
Wow.
Yeah. And now I'm seeing him on every single podcast.
But he could, especially if they trade out Rahul, he could come in and be that opener and that overseas guy who will take charge. He will be like a name in the batting order who you can, look to.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
All right. We've got Lucknow apparently now. Oh, actually, let's start.
Yeah.
Let's start with, they've got 23 crore left. And so David Miller went, that might be the end of his major journey in the IPL. I'm not saying he won't get some smaller contracts, but I can't see too much. The Shamar Joseph experience is finally over. I'd be interested to see how long he sticks around. Ravi Bishnoi, who they didn't even want to play last year. They traded Shardul Thakur, of course. Akashdeep, that's an interesting one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because he wasn't, what was Akashdeep on last year? Would he have been about 10 crores, 8 crores without maybe the experience of that? And then you've got their lineup here at the moment. So, Breedsky and Markram and Marsh, they've certainly got 3 guys with shoulders available to them. They traded for Mohammad Shami. They got Prince Yadav. Oh, no. Is that still the wrong one? Is that what? Oh, Rakshit.
I thought Rakshit told me it's fine now.
But he left. Okay. I was not expecting that.
Lucknow good to go now is what he said. But if we are on Lucknow, why have they brought in Arjun Tendulkar, Jared?
Okay. So, how much do you guys know about LeBron James and Bronny James?
I mean, I know
Not much.
the Wikipedia first paragraph about level knowledge about LeBron James. I know that he's a great player. He's one of the greatest of all time. He's
So
also
he
one
has
of the
a
richest
son.
of all time.
Yeah, so he has a son called Bronny, who is weirdly really popular online, right? And has like an Instagram following, and no one really thought he was good enough to play in the NBA. Certainly when he was drafted, it was too soon anyway, right? But he clearly wanted to play with his dad, or I should say his dad clearly wanted him to play with him. And so the Lakers drafted him, and, it hasn't really worked. And no one ever thought it was going to work, right? So very similar to what happened with Arjun Tendulkar. But the big difference for me is, as Rakshit is back, where are we? But the big difference for me is that, like, Arjun Tendulkar's not particularly popular, is he? It's not like he has a fan base of his own or anything. And so it makes sense him playing for Mumbai. Oh, Varantu.
Hello.
It makes sense him playing for Mumbai, but isn't it a bit confusing that he's playing for another side now? Like, because you guys are much more online with India these days, especially now. I'm basically not on social media very much anymore. But there isn't a lot of love for Arjun Tendulkar, right, on the online community. So what's the bump you get from having him? He's not going to bowl. Right? Like, I don't think he played a game last year, did he?
Last year, no. He played in 23 a few games, and in
Yeah.
24 he played 1 game.
If I'm not
apart
mistaken,
from
was
that-
24 the last time he played, and that's the game where he got cramp and couldn't bowl anymore and had to throw the ball to someone else. Was that not the last time we've seen him on the field?
I don't remember the cramp, but
There was a game, I think, in 2023 where he got hit for a lot of runs, like 28 runs or something like that in an over.
Maybe that was 2023. I was positive there was a game, though, where he played and, like, it just looked like he wasn't up to it anymore, right? Like, that people had worked him out a little bit. And, yeah, so maybe... No, I think it was the one game in 2024 where he bowled 14 balls. So that was the game where he was about to get smashed and he had cramp. Not enough bowlers pull this move, by the way. But he might have actually had cramp, of course. He's a much better athlete than he used to be. I mean, what are you getting out of it? Maybe they think his batting's got better, but you're not getting online popularity.
See,
I don't think... do you want Tendulkar to turn up at more games? Is that it? You want Sachin to come? Like...
that
I'm
was,
trying to work
actually
through
one thought I had, that maybe they'll get some unofficial Sachin Tendulkar, goodwill type, and he might turn up, or he might offer whatever, some off the cuff coaching or something like that. Arjun Tendulkar's batting has got better. He moved to Goa in the Ranji Trophy, so now Goa play at a slightly lower level than the others. So I don't know how much, but he I think has a first class century also.
He does. He made a first-class century a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
But he also has, in 24 T20 games, 119 runs, an average of 13 at a strike rate of 123. Right? Like, he's not an all-rounder, is he? Like, he's not going to suddenly come through and change... oh, my God. Rakshit's having a shocker here. He's not going to come through and suddenly, like, change everything. So I do think it's a fascinating one, all things considered. This might be the last time we talk about Arjun Tendulkar this season, though, right? Like, there's every chance. Do you know what? This is the funny thing of, like, if I was an IPL owner, I would really want a second division league, like one that where I owned the minors, like in baseball and basketball in America, or I would really want something like that, so I could actually see if we could upskill some of these players in games, right? And have a situation where. Because there's a lot of guys who don't play during the IPL, right?
Yeah.
Who are just on the bench. And it's like, wouldn't it be better for them to be off playing in a game and then come back when you need the net bowlers, right? Like, I
Yeah,
think there's a better way of doing the current system than we have, rather than waiting for the, you know, the Karnataka League or the, you know, or the SMAT or, you know,
TNPL.
TNPL and all those different leagues, right?
Yeah.
Like, I would, if it was me, I would want what I think the Big Bash is the only one I know that has it. It used to have the Baby Bash, right, where it had like that other competition where the younger players were playing in who weren't in the Big Bash sides. That's how I would want to run this.
Yeah, but just looking at the team, Lucknow, I think they're still top heavy in batting. I think their bowling is okay, but it's very fragile. Like, you still don't know Mohsin Khan and Mayank Yadav, if they're fully fit and firing, yeah, I have no problem with them, but they didn't play. Between them, I don't think they played a single game last season or 2 or 3 games. And Shami is again...
If Mike Yadav doesn't bowl, is their bowling lineup good enough?
Yeah. And what
I mean,
version of
probably,
Shami are
maybe?
they getting?
What version of Shami are we getting? Yeah, that's like Shayan said.
Yeah, right. You probably need Mohsin Khan or Shami to be near their peaks, right, to pull that off.
Yeah.
And don't you have to assume at this stage that Mike Yadav's not going to play half the games, right? If he plays half the games, it's a bonus.
They have Avesh Khan also. Avesh is there, and they have Digvesh Rathi was a revelation last year.
Yeah,
So-
he was good.
Yeah, if he's really handy, but I just
Yeah.
think there's so many questions about their bowling.
Yeah, there's too many questions. Yeah.
Also,
Where you're
even
like-
with the batting, it's like, what are the odds Puran has that kind of a season again, right?
Yep.
Like,
But
the,
then
the
Pant
other
also-
thing would be Pant would also have been much better
Yeah.
than he was last year. So yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And they have 4 guys who all fit best in the top 3. So I don't know how they're going to work that. You know,
I just
there's
think they've got a lot of questions for a team that has 23 crore left to
Yeah.
build with, right? Like there's not a lot there. Oh, we've done Delhi, haven't we?
We've done Delhi.
Yeah.
RCB. Take it away, Shayan.
Yeah. So
I mean, surely Liam Livingston's not a surprise to any of us.
yeah.
Right?
No, that's fair.
Ngini's actually
the-
probably been bowling better recently than he has in a while, but you know, whether he's ever going to be the Ngini he was back a few years ago looks debatable. So they haven't done that much, and they're freed up 16 crore to be able to play with. I think that looks like a pretty good move to me.
Yeah.
I was a little surprised that they let Mayank Agarwal go. I thought he did well as a replacement player.
So can they
but-
keep the replacement player as well as the original player? I'm not so sure about the rule
Yeah,
there.
now you can.
You can. I think Delhi
Now you
did that
can.
once with Anurag Nokia and Chris Wilkes.
How much is
yeah,
Mike
right.
Agarwal going to cost you though if you go back in to get him?
Probably
It's
around 2.
the same, right? 1 or 2 crores.
So maybe there might be a contractual reason, or it might just be there might be something else going on in there. They've given themselves 16 crore. So what do they need to do, Cheyenne, with that 16 crore? They need what?
I think they'll need a Livingston replacement, right, in that middle order.
Yeah,
you know.
I think they need a backup for Hazelwood too, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
their
also.
bowling
Very
is
fair
very
point.
fragile. You know, even Bhuvi is getting older now. Hazelwood is, you never know whether he'll last.
Well,
the
he's
whole
out of the
season.
first Ashes test. I was saying to Varun
Yeah,
before
yeah.
when you guys weren't here, I'm not sure how much longer Hazelwood can play at the level he is without quitting something, right? And he might quit Test cricket or he might quit the IPL, but I just don't think it's in his body anymore. So I think they probably need a backup seamer, an overseas
Also,
seamer,
They
can
and a
upgrade
backup.
their
The
spin as
IPL
well.
is coming after the Ashes and the T20 World Cup. Even if Hazelwood
Yeah.
is fit, he might be out of gas by then, right?
So they need
That's
a
a lot of
backup for
cricket.
him, and they need another backup Indian seamer, I think. as
Shan,
well.
but wouldn't Tushara be his backup? Or am I misremembering?
Yeah, I think Tushara can be a decent enough backup. He
Tushara
can bowl with the new. Yeah, he can bowl
Was
with
his
the new
backup
ball.
last year.
Yeah, he played a game, the one that I
played.
went to watch actually. He was probably the best bowler in that match.
Tushara's
And the
been
one-
bowling really well as
Yeah.
well. Like he
Yeah,
looks
he's
in
good, he's good.
career best form. So maybe what you do is you spend your money on an Indian pacer then, and just
Indian
say,
spinner as well, Jared. Because Suyash is good. I mean, he's good at keeping the runs
Yeah.
in control, but he's not a wicket taker as such, right? And he had
Did they
that
go
good
for
game against
Bishnoi?
Punjab. Exactly,
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking. That could be an option, you know.
But I mean, the thing is, someone's going to pay Bishnoi a decent amount of money, and he was a busted ass last year.
So I think with Bishnu, I remember looking this up. For whatever reason, he can't bowl well to the Indian players, but he still does
Yeah.
well to the overseas players in the IPL. So that's why he does well in international cricket, but not in IPL.
So just to remember this, Cheyenne Watts, a Liam Livingston replacement, a spinner, and a pace bowler with 16
And then after all
No,
of
I'm
that,
just saying these
you
are
might want
the
to
options
get a
they could
number
look
3
at.
than the DDP, right?
Sorry, what, Varun? What are you saying?
So I think like the lowest priority would be like maybe a better number 3 than Dev Dutt. I don't know.
I think Devdutt did fine, man. I think
he did fine, but
completely changed his game.
I don't know
last
how
year,
much
so-
I trust Dev Dutt particle in T20 cricket. So it's one of the that's my
But
bias.
I think with him, it's that he doesn't have to have like great numbers. He just has to come and chip in that role where he just has to be a good role player. I think essentially they
I
don't
think he was
even need him
fantastic in
to
this.
make
That's why
big
it surprised the
runs.
heck out of all of us,
Yeah.
right? When he did
Yeah.
well.
Cheyenne, can they use Bethel in the middle order?
Yeah, they can actually have him as a Phil Salt backup as well. No, in
That's
case
what I'm
Salt is
saying.
not around, he
You
can
just-
open the innings.
Yeah, you just kind of float him around, right? You use
Yeah,
him
or
wherever
even
you
in that
need.
Livingston role, actually, Bethel could fit in possibly.
That's what I mean. Like, but as long as you don't bowl him.
Yeah, you can't
Actually, they
rely on
could-
his bowling. Yeah.
Actually, they can try and get an Indian guy for Livingston, no? Because their 4 overseas guys could be Salt, Hazelwood, Tim David, and Romario Shepherd.
May I interest you in some Deepak Huda?
No, I think I was telling Shayan this. They buy Andre Russell, and Andre Russell wins them 2026 after like lifelong trauma he caused the RCB fans.
Gujarat.
I think they're. I don't think they made too many big moves. Yeah, the Sherfane was the big one, and I was a little surprised they released Gerald Kurtzi, but
Yeah.
the rest were not. Mahipal Lomror is actually, I think, an underrated guy. I hope he gets a franchisee where he can, get to bat a little bit. He showed some glimpses with RCB, of being able to.
I just don't think he's quite an IPL player. I kind of like him, but I just think he's not quite at the level that he needs to be at.
That's
I
actually
think he
quite
can be
possible,
your
but-
7th or 8th best batter, right, in a team. Where
Yeah.
he can come and slog a bit, or maybe be used as a spin hitter in the middle at times. You can't have him as a main role, like as a proper role player. I think.
Yeah, he'll be just
Like
a role player. I mean, he'll be an impact player in a role player position, sort of. I think that's where I think he's. I mean, maybe Jared is more objective about this. I just like the guy, so I thought he should get.
Oh, I think he's a good cricketer,
He's a
but I just don't
pre-impact
know if he's.
sub player. I think that's what we're saying, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's the sort of guy you have before the impact sub is a thing to give you like a couple of overs.
Yeah, I don't know if he has a particular skill that works in this. So the Gerald Coetzee thing is really interesting, right? Because they only have 13 crawl left, and I would have assumed, what was Coetzee on last year? About 4 or 5 crawl? Was it
Yeah,
6?
I think some 5-6 is what I vaguely remember.
So here's my question: is can you get a better backup overseas seamer than Coetzee for that amount of money, or are they looking for a different kind of bowler? I suppose is the other part of that.
I
as
think
well.
they're looking for a different kind because they have Prasid, Siraj, and Rabada, right?
Rabada. Yeah.
So maybe they don't want another seamer.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's what it is. It just seems like an interesting thing to do for me because it's not particularly easy for them to pivot. Talking about pivoting, Rashid Khan,
Yeah, are you
I would be
saying-
really interested to see if they tried to trade Rashid Khan. What the value of Rashid Khan would have been on the open market.
That's like it's like almost like a Dreras question, right? But he has had like a poor year, but he's Rashid Khan, so it's the same thing with Dreras.
Do you remember he was traded once before and we all like lost our minds?
Yeah,
But
yeah. When
I think if you
SRH
trade
did-
him now, I think there's a lot of
Yeah.
us going, it's probably fair. I'd be interested to see who's their other spinner because they've got seamers. Who's the other spinner in this squad?
They have Jayant Yadav.
yeah.
Maybe
Manav
that's the
Sutar?
issue. Maybe they need
Yeah.
to look for another spinner too, right? Like to make sure. I mean, Washington maybe bowls more because they haven't really used him.
They have
Yeah.
Manav Sutar and Nishant Sidhu are the left-handed finger
Yeah.
spinning all-rounders. They're your classic Ranji Trophy high wicket taking list options, right? It's like
Yeah.
they're the sort of players Ranji keep producing, basically.
I think there's a very big chance that by the end of this year, Rashid Khan is not an automatic pick.
Oh,
There's my hot take for the IPL.
yeah, that's
Automatic
that's a
pick.
hot
So
take.
he might still play, but at that stage, you are thinking maybe he shouldn't be playing.
Also,
or
they also
maybe-
have Saika Shore, by the way. So I don't know.
That's what I mean. So
Oh,
they've
yeah,
got
yeah.
they've got Saika right? So
Yeah.
they do have someone. Is he not on this list?
No, he's not.
That's what.
Doesn't but they have Saikishore. We know that.
I was about to slag off this list, then I realised that Cricket.com made it and not us. So thank you, Cricket.com. I just think that Saika Shore outbowled him anyway last year, right? So, yeah, I'd be very interested to see what happens with Rashid Khan over the next couple of years. I don't think it's it's one of two things. It's either his back has gone, right? Or he is 6 years older than his actual playing age, right? And both of
both.
those things. Yeah, or both. Or both. So, both of those things I think are on the table a little bit as well.
I was actually surprised they let go of Sharfane because their problem was they were too top heavy, right? Now they've let go of the guy who was doing the job at 4 for them. So maybe
And I don't know if
Washington
13
Sundar is no longer a
13
false
throws is
3.
enough for them.
It's a
Yeah.
false 5.
No, he's
The
going to
real
be
five.
he's going to be a real top order guy because he's going to be at bat in the top order in the IPL and in Test cricket. So
Yeah.
Also, their top three surely can't replicate what they did last season, right? That was absolute insanity.
But
Whatever
they
it is
can.
those three did. If they do, I
They
think
can though.
they have a very good chance.
But they are the sort of players, right, who you
Yeah.
expect runs from. So I don't think it's that
It was crazy.
unrepeatable. If you look at how they're structured, they can do that.
no, but can they get runs at the same pace they got last year?
Maybe not at the same efficiency, but
Yeah.
the top 3 is class.
Yeah, and about their pacers, actually, just to go back to that, they have Ishant Sharma and Gurnood Singh Brar also, who is also, he was highly rated from the Tamil Nadu Premier League. So they have a lot of pace options, actually, if you look at it. So maybe the Kurtzi one makes
Yeah,
sense.
maybe that's right. Maybe they just were like,
Yeah.
we don't need another backup
don't-
in
Yeah.
that sort of situation. I don't know. Did Ishant Sharma bowl much last year? 7
He
games.
bowled.
I know
Oh
he
my
bowled
God.
in the
Last year.
Suryavanshi game. I know
Exactly.
for a fact he bowled in that game. That's all I
He went,
remember.
he went at 11 runs and over last year and averaged 51. Old great mare, she ain't what she used to be. I think is probably fair.
always
Because
love
before
Ishant.
that, he had a few years where he would come in and he would play and he would be picked for the right pitches and he'd still be quite handy. Last year was the first time I thought to myself, ooh, we might have just gone a year beyond
I think
that.
the moment he stopped being effective in the power play, I don't see why you'd pick him.
That's kind of what I mean, yeah. Anyway, let's get on to the one that Saurabh been desperate to talk about.
I know that Dre Russ had like a poor year, last year, but he's Andre Russell. I don't know why you would let him go. Do they think Roughman Powell will do the job that he was doing? I don't know. And they've let all of their keepers go. I was telling Varun that they have let Gurbaz and Quinton de Kock go. I didn't realize at that time they let Lavneet Sisodia go also. Lavneet Sisodia is a local, he's actually a Karnataka boy. He's a keeper. So I thought they have let their keepers go because they have Lavneet as a backup. But now they have left all of their keepers go and they have let Andre Russell go. And I don't know. Would you have let Andre Russell go at 12 crore also? Any of you?
Depends on his knees, right? Like,
Yeah, if I know
if he
something
can
about
go-
his knees, I'm letting him go.
Yeah.
So last year he only bowled, let's have a look. It wasn't a lot, was it? Last year he only bowled 109 balls, right? And he
18
didn't make
overs.
any runs, right? So his strike rate was still fine. Maybe they're thinking 109 balls without runs is not worth it. If we could get him back to what, peak Andre Russell is probably 150, 160 balls. Maybe even more than that back in the old days when he could actually had functioning knees. Maybe that's a little bit more. I think they eventually just had to split them up though. Like, I think they had to make the call. And if you're going to make the call, you make the call on the guy who can't walk, who should age out worse, right? Because Sunil Narayan as a spinner should be able to do what he does for longer.
Sure, but like you are doing it for a mini auction. Like, what will you do with 64 crore in a mini auction? You know, like,
My question
they can
is,
do what
did
they
no
want,
one want to
so
trade
that's
for
not the
him?
price.
yeah,
Because that if
I'm
that
surprised.
that tells you everything. If they couldn't find a trade for Andre Russell, doesn't that tell you that everyone thinks he's done? They might, and everyone might be wrong, but isn't that what it tells you?
I guess we'll know auction time depending on how much interest he generates.
He should still get 15 crore in the auction.
15, I would be surprised, but I think he'll hit double digits.
I think
15
I
is,
think you will find there will be
it's when
two team
teams
owners who will
you,
want him.
I think, yeah.
You've got to
But if
put in
they-
the sexiness factor for him.
Right, but if they would want him 1 month later, like it comes back to your trade question, right? Like why not get him in a trade where you have to pay only 12 crores for him?
Yeah.
Yeah. What's interesting is we didn't hear any rumors about this, which again tells you how professional Venky is, that this didn't get out. Is there still a possibility though for a straight Andre Russell, KL Rahul swap?
No, I once he's released, I don't think there is a possibility.
Okay, so once he's gone, that's it. Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's it. Yeah.
I wonder if that's what was offered for KL Rahul. And if that's the
Yeah.
case, I think that's fair to say no. They've also got rid of like all the international players here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got rid of Nokia as well, yeah. Spencer Johnson.
Like I understand Moeen Ali.
only-
I think it might be like carrying Moeen Ali and Sunil Narayan might be a bit too far in this at this point of time. But yeah,
How
I'd
did
guess
Rodman
Spencer
Powell?
Johnson.
Yeah, how did Rodman Powell stick around then?
Maybe they see him as like the future. He can give them 2-3 years. Maybe they're banking on his potential. That's the
I
only
love
reason.
Rodman Powell, but like they didn't use him last year. It's very weird for him to be the guy that they've stuck with.
Maybe they want him
No.
to be the Andre Russell replacement.
They didn't use him last year because there was no room for him also, no?
Exactly.
When you have
Yeah,
a-
but they've certainly cleared some room for him.
Yeah. They have, yeah. Then I mean, for the first thing I think they need is a wicket keeper, but you know, and like an opening
they need a lot.
option.
They need a wicket keeper. They need an opener.
opener.
I-
yeah.
They're going to get Cam Green.
Yeah. So
They want
Rodman
him-
Powell's had one good year.
They're primed to get it right.
Yeah. In the IPL so far. Rodman Powell, 2022 averages 25 with the strike rate 149. So pushing good, but solid year. He's not made a single run in any other time he's played. He's on his third team. It's just for me, it's a really weird decision to keep
He's been
him
doing
around.
well for West Indies though.
Yeah.
If you look at
look,
this year.
I think he's done very well for lots of other teams, but he hasn't in the IPL. So it's a fascinating one to be like he's the one that
Yeah.
they want.
They need some pace options also. Actually, you know, they have Harshit Rana and Weber Varwar only. Umran Malik, I don't know. Again, first whether he's fit or not, and second, even when he's fit, whether you can play him or not. So they need some, maybe an overseas pace bowler.
So Kotsia,
Kotsia.
Akashdeep, who else?
Jacob Duffy, how's
Jamie Smith to
Come onto the scene
KKR.
now.
Jamie Smith to KKR?
What's Jamie Smith's T20 record like, by the way? Is that
He's very high
He
in
just
10.
started
I remember
opening,
this.
right?
Or what about Tim Seifert for KKR?
But RCB left him, no? Or did they not?
Sorry?
Did
Tim
RCB
Seifert,
leave
yeah.
Seifert?
Jamie Smith's T20 international
Oh.
is 26,194.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah? But that's
Yeah,
in
he's
5
full
games.
in.
Look at his domestic.
Yeah.
It's 25, 144.
Yeah, but that's full career, no?
I
Might
think if you
have to
batted
see
in the
recent
middle
form.
order, I understand that. I think keepers you don't average much.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
Yeah, but they need. I mean, they have the money, but
Okay,
they need,
so they need wicket keepers. They need pace bowling. They kind
they
of
need
need batting.
openers. yeah,
Have a lot of
I mean,
money.
they've got 60 crore, but what's available on the open market?
Let's say they spend
That's the
30 on
thing.
Cameron Green. So I'm going to assume they're going to spend 30 of it on Cameron Green.
Okay, so
knowing
so
what we know.
Green, Faf.
Okay. Faf.
But they already
I
have
don't know.
Rahane, no?
Okay,
don't
can
know if
I
that's
throw
Faf.
one in?
Yeah.
Hasaranga.
So they'll have Varun, Narayan, and Hasaranga, and they'll
Yep.
make only
and
spinny
just go.
pitches.
We're just going to make the pitch spin sideways. And with Sunil Narayan
I mean,
and
basically
Hasaranga,
the pitch
between
for
them, that's
the-
one
for
full
the-
bat.
So the issue with
Basic-
that, Jared, is the KKR curator will not listen to anyone that tells them what to do. So KKR wanted spin-friendly pitches. They prepared roads, and I think India wanted like something more balanced, and they prepared a minefield. So no one knows what
No, so
happens there.
Maybe they just keep this same pitch that the test match is being played on. And-
Yeah.
All right. Mumbai Indians. Only
Think
thing
they
that we
have-
need to know is that Arjun Tendulkar is gone.
and they have only 2.75 crores, so they're just, I don't know, going to buy one guy.
Does a dove cry every time Mumbai Indians release a left-arm pace bowler?
Who have they
must
got?
admit,
let
I was
go?
having
Reese Topley.
yeah, I was having lunch with him the other day, and I don't think he was expecting to come back. So I think that one's fair. What's interesting about them is that it's not a lot of money that they have opened up either, right? So
Yeah.
they're basically coming back. I think Majib has had his time, and he's done. Lazard Williams, I never thought was an IPL bowler. Reese Hopley, you use as a backup. So they're pretty much running it back, right? This is just running it back and saying we're good enough.
Yeah, I mean,
they got Shardul.
Vignesh, and they got Shardul and Sherfane
Yeah.
Rutherford, right? So they
Yeah,
made their
yeah.
moves in the trading window,
Yeah.
not in the
Exactly.
auction.
Yeah.
But
I thought
is
Vignesh,
Shardul play?
Puthur and Shardul, will he play?
I assume he
If,
plays
if
in the
Deepak,
Chahar role,
if
right?
Deepak Chahar is not doing
Yeah,
well,
okay,
then he
fair
plays, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Both
Or
of them
injured.
probably won't. Right?
Both of them difficult, yeah. Because you have Bumrah, Bolt already, right? So
Shardul is quite a step back on Deepak, though, isn't he? And he's not giving you a lot of batting. I know he took wickets last year, but he did go at what, 11, 12 runs and over in doing so.
No, see, he
And-
had a weird thing. He came in his initial few games, he was really good, and then he
Yep.
reverted to just being expensive.
So
But
in
I think Shardul is
2024, he took 5 wickets at 61 at 10 runs and over.
and all of those 5 wickets must have come in his first 3 games. But he might be just backup for Deepak Chahar because Deepak Chahar is also injury prone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's the case, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they need a Shafane Rutherford? I suppose in this side, looking at it, they maybe did. They're still waiting. We're still waiting for the great Robin Minns season. We're all on Robin Minns watch. I've been on Minns watch for about 3 years.
Yeah. I think Sherfane probably replaces Will Jacks in their 11 when Will Jacks was playing. Because if they want a left-handed option instead of a right-handed
But
one.
Jax was batting at 3, wasn't he?
Yeah.
3
He
or
was delaying
4,
Surya,
I mean,
I think
Yeah.
maybe,
But he can bowl, Jax. I know you're not going to get much out of him, but I know
he's-
Shane Rutherford can technically bowl because the West Indies keep trying to make him bowl, but realistically, probably shouldn't bowl.
Also, every team with Indians refuses to just play Tilak at 3, so I don't know what's happening there. But yeah.
So yeah, not much they could do to that. Be interesting to see.
Yeah.
What
That's
left
what I'm-
arm-
Karan
really,
Sharma and Vignesh Puthur actually had fairly decent seasons last year, if I
Yeah.
remember right. So I was a little surprised because it's not like they're freeing up a lot of budget or something. So I thought they could have kept them, but they've released them.
Has Bevan Jacobs ever played a game?
I don't think he has.
Not in the
like he
IPL,
has.
I think.
What's the there's when Enron happened and there was like the guy with the fake name who just kept coming up over and over again in the Enron stuff. Someone in the comments I'm sure will know who I'm talking about. Like, but Bevan
yes.
Jacobs is that kind of guy where I'm like, I feel like I've been hearing about him for years and I'm not sure how much I've ever seen him actually play cricket. Like, I know he exists.
No, in that Super Smash, I'm pretty sure he has played, but yeah, he has
Yeah.
not played.
But
in
he's
the
24
IPL.
years old and he's played 29 games, and I just feel like every time there's a draft or an auction somewhere in the world, Bevan Jacobs' name is there, and then he doesn't actually play. Like he's being traded like dead money. I don't know if you guys know in the NBA sometimes you'll have a player who there's a guy recently who had retired like 7 years ago, but the rights to play him were still being traded around. Right? And
Wow.
Bevan Jacobs feels like that. And then one day we all know Bevan Jacobs is going to turn up somewhere and just like smash the ball everywhere. We're all going to be like, we were always Bevan Jacob fans. Okay, so Sunrisers, obviously they traded Mohammad Shami, Simranjeet Singh, Rahul Chahar, so there's some bowlers there. Sachin Baby, Adam Zampa, and Vian Mulder. Well,
Yeah,
who's
they
going to bat
traded.
at 3?
They need bowling. They need bowlers, I think. Yeah, because they've let go of a lot of them. They need a spinner, I think. More than anything else.
No, you're right with the
Because
first
they've-
part. They need bowling. So that kind of covers everything. So, I think that it comes into the subcategory of that. So yeah.
Amongst bowlers, their only spinner that I can see is Zishan Ansari, and he's really raw.
Yeah.
So, or if they play Kamindu Mendes and make use of his whatever, but they need so I think they need spinners because they've let go of Zampa and Rahul Chahar and
Harsh Dubey
I
is
don't think
also
they could have played
alright,
Zampa
but
because
again,
there's so many overseas players.
Harsh
So
Dubey maybe can be their spinner, but
Harsh Dubey is there.
I remember
I don't know
commentating
if he
last
can be
year.
the main spinner. How much has he
when-
played?
When I was doing some commentary last year saying that Simranjeet Singh just did not look like he should be bowling in the IPL. I'm just looking at his numbers here for last year. He bowled it in 4 games, took 2 wickets and an average of 70 and went at 14 runs per over. I mean, they've just struggled to find that kind of... Like, you don't even need him to be good, right? You just need him to be not terrible. Because they can overcome it. Oh, that's what... If I was working with them at the moment, that's what I'd be saying. I'd be saying, we've got... How much money is it? We've got 25 crore. How do we turn our bowling into not shit? We don't need it to be a plus bowling attack, just not shit. Can we just find a bunch of people who can, make sure that we go into each game knowing that we're going to get about 16 overs out of 4 guys who can bowl, and then we just find Trotis to try and make the rest of it up. And then we just hope that Head, Klaassen, etc., do some good things. Ishan Malinga is getting better as well, right? I don't know how. Again, Bryden Cast feels like one of those guys who probably hasn't played a lot of.
I don't think
imagine
he's played a lot.
is he a
of
Cummins
IPL.
backup in this team?
I'm
He should
assuming
be,
he's batting as well,
I don't
isn't he?
see him starting, right?
No, I can't imagine he would.
Yeah, there's Cummins, Travis Head, Klaassen, and then one of Kamindu or Ishan Malinga would, I think,
Or
make it
someone
ahead
they get
of-
in the auction.
Or someone they get in the auction. Yeah.
Most
my God.
likely that.
I don't
would
think they'll be
assume.
getting Cam Green. That's for sure.
No,
What
Bryden
is the
Cast
purse?
in T20.
25.
25, I think.
25 and a half.
Yeah.
No, not bad.
Bryden Cast in T20 cricket, 88 matches, 58 wickets, which for a test bowler seems incredibly low, at an average of 36 while going at 9 runs and over.
What's his batting?
His batting is average of 17 at 139, so not terrible. I don't know where you use him though, because maybe you just throw him in against the spinners. He just plays as in the Ashwin role, right? Or the Akshar role, and you just go try and hit a couple of sixes. Because I
just
have seen him
assume
hit
he's a
sixes
injury
before.
backup for Cummins.
Yeah. I'm just saying it's an interesting decision to keep him because he hasn't played a lot of cricket and everything else. Maybe it is just he's the next
You could
one.
also always do Cummins 7, him at 8 if they want to.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
the flexibility that I kind of saw. If you're going to keep him, maybe there's a reason that they've kept him there.
To be just on Simarjeet, no, he did bowl well for Delhi in domestic cricket. So
He
maybe,
took a 6 for yesterday
that-
or last week or whenever he played a game recently, didn't he?
Oh, I mean, I'm talking overall. He's been a good
Yeah.
bowler for Delhi. So
I'm pretty sure he took a 6 for recently.
Oh.
So, yeah. No, I mean, look, it just hasn't worked in T20 cricket. He might
Yeah.
still develop into someone. But the point being is they had to bowl him.
yeah.
And once they had to bowl him, they were fucked. Right? That's the truth of that. Punjab here with
Yeah, this
who did
is
they
a-
get rid of? Ooh.
They just got rid of a few guys: Maxwell, Josh Inglis, Aaron Hardy, Kuldeep.
Josh
Who was
Inglis.
Punjab's coach last year?
Ricky Ponting.
Ponting.
And there's a lot of... Has he been fired? There's a lot of Australian
No.
guys who've lost their jobs here, guys.
No, this is I think the weirdest auction that Punjab are entering in because this is the lowest budget they've had for any auction ever. I think just 11.5 crores.
Yes.
They generally come in with a.
It's a once in a millennium kind of event. They've been very smart with the releases.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Not
But
very
Inglis
often
is an
you see
interesting
that.
one. Why would you let go of Inglis? I thought he
I
was pretty
assume
good at
maybe
number 3.
Inglis would want more money. He's only getting 2.6 crores, right?
No, but
There
he
might have
can't
been a
get more
situation where-
money in while he's into his 3-year
No, I'm just saying
into that
maybe
mega auction period.
he wanted it. I have no idea. That might be
Yeah, you
why.
have to keep Inglis, don't you?
You probably
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, but they have.
Or shouldn't they have traded Inglis to KKR?
Yeah, some people are
could've.
talking
Yeah.
about that.
Yeah,
Why release
and then
Inglis?
and got Andre Russell. But they would have to give someone apart from English, I think, just for the
You have to
money
do a lot
matching.
of him, right? I think.
Yeah.
Just because of the pure budget.
I don't think you have to match the money though in the IPL trades.
I have no
No,
idea.
you
I
don't
still
have
know
to,
how
but
trades work.
I think they're close to exhausting their budget. So if they get Russell, they might overshoot their budget. So then they have to let go of some other players.
Someone's just said that Josh Inglis is not available for the 2026 season.
Oh,
Someone said not
makes
for the
sense.
full season.
yeah, that makes sense then.
Yeah. Fair enough then.
I would still keep him though. I would keep him for future years. I suppose he's 30. He's
Yeah.
not like he's in his 20s anymore. But yeah, I mean he's playing at the moment. Isn't he playing a Shield game right now, or did that Shield game just finish? I don't know what date we're up to. Western Australia won that game by a wicket. That's the only reason I know. It was like a classical Shield game. Let's have a look. Yeah. So maybe he just said, I can't do the full season, which is fair. I still think that you keep a player like him. Isn't he just going to be getting better in the next couple of years? Like, this is his peak, right? Like, why get rid of him at 30 if you're not paying him that much already, even if he's only going to play half a season? Even if he misses this season. Like, they're not clearing much more room up in their salary cap by getting rid of him. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's not like
That's
they
a
can go
strange
for
one.
Cam Green with
Yeah,
this
yeah.
budget. So
Like, who else can they go for if not Inglis? Is probably the question they have to ask.
Does someone
Who,
else...
who are they looking at in that number 3 keeper role?
are they also looking for like a Jamie Smith or someone like that?
Maybe, yeah.
But
They might not be able to
but
afford
Inglis
him,
was
though.
good for them.
They won't, yeah.
Sorry, wrong one. Yeah. What about
Maxwell.
what about this team suggests that they're going to run it back, right? Like in that they've moved it, so that's fine, and so they've only made a couple of small moves. But what does Glenn Maxwell go for?
Exactly.
Is he done? Is it over? Or does someone still believe?
I think
What
he'll
if he's
find a
coming back
buyer.
to RCB? Instead of Livingston.
I was just
I
thinking
mean,
that.
maybe.
But
about
CSK can
KKR?
also go for him, CSK.
Yeah.
What about KKR?
I was thinking-
And they throw him in the middle there, and then they've got another spinner who can also be an all-rounder.
Or they do a reverse Uno and they make Maxwell open. KKR get Maxwell as an opener because he has opened in T20Is and he has got a
has.
century opening.
He got
and
a
I think
century
he has
against
said,
Sri Lanka, no?
and he has said that he enjoys opening. So
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
with
I don't
Maxi,
know.
sometimes the issue is he gets typecasted and just sent at 6 and 7. That's probably not
Exactly,
his best
exactly. Yeah.
Right.
He's
Yeah.
more of a 3, number 4 sort
Yeah,
of a
he's
player.
probably
I
4
think,
and
in
5 is
T20s.
probably, I think, his best. You want him to
He
bash
can even
spin
be a
and get
3 in T20s. If you give him that role of hitting spin, he can do that,
It'd be fascinating if he remade himself as an opener at this stage, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think he'll
He's
get a
saying he's going to
bid.
go have a Sunil Narayan arc, Jared. Specialist bowler who opens a bit.
That's all I'm saying. I mean, you could make an argument now that his bowling is worth a couple of crore, and you give him the extra couple of crore to take a swing on his batting. If you're a team who has some money available, right? Like because you can pay him a little bit of money, and his upside is massive, and his downside's not that much of an issue. And if he bowls well, I think the other big thing with him is in the old days his fielding was so good that it's probably worth 1.5 crore on its own, and he just doesn't move. He moves like me now. Like he's not that kind of athlete anymore.
Is it because of that injury he recently had? Is he's
And
not
he's-
moving properly yet?
He's also fucking old. He's also let's
injury is
not piss about here. He likes to drink, boys. Like he may not have looked after his body quite as well as some other people, right? Like eventually, if you don't look after yourself, it can catch up to you, right? Like I know he was a freak athlete, but we've seen that happen before as well.
I would be very surprised if he's unsold in the auction, but I don't think he'll go for like big money.
He's not, do you know what he isn't? He's not an automatic pick for anyone anymore, is he? So even
not, yeah.
if you bring him in, you play him as your 5th overseas player in
Yeah.
certain situations, and that's why I think at KKR I really like the idea of him coming in and playing.
Maxwell
and
and
playing a
Narayan
little bit.
opening, that would be quite something.
You know,
Exactly. 120 in the power play or none for 2. Anything can happen.
it's a good part. That would be a hard
possibility of
partnership to bowl to.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this: I will not miss a ball of that partnership.
Yeah.
I'll stop what I'm doing and go watch that game.
What do they call it?
Yeah,
now? They call
it's
it
box
appointment
office.
viewing. Yeah, appointment viewing, where like it's the last thing worth watching. Of like, I will be available for your wedding, but not if Maxwell is opening the batting with Sun on the right.
Yeah, it's a total box office. I think if
Yeah,
do it, KKR. If anybody at KKR is listening to this, do it.
I think one of the
Someone just said
comments was
here, why would they get Max if they're releasing Russell? Because it could be 9 crore cheaper, is what we're saying. Right, like that's the thing about Maxwell at this point. He might not even go to the IPL if he's only offered 2.5 to 3. Although to be fair, I think if I'm Maxwell, I probably what would he make from sponsors if he's at the IPL? He probably makes another 3 to 4 crore from sponsors, right? So as long as he's getting enough money and he's got his face out there, it might still be worth it. Whereas
Do you
for
know
some
when
of these
the
other
PSL
players,
auction is? Sorry, the PSL draft.
you think he goes there?
I don't know if he goes unsold. I'm assuming he'd go there.
We've got the Nepalese contingent being pushed up here. I don't
I
think.
mean, one thing I do want to see in the men's IPL that the women's do is allow associate players to count as local players. I think it would make a lot of sense
Yeah.
because we'd see a lot more of these sort of picks then.
You know, some of you might know that like I was in the running for the IPL general manager at one point, and that was like one of the things that I was pushing, which is bring in associate players, partly like not just as a cricket reason, but as a marketing reason, right? Like because you'd seen what had happened in Australia when Sandeep and Rashid Khan had been in the side, and how much extra press and publicity you got, and then you get a good player as well. And the CPL I think had a similar thing. So there is something to be said for that as a thing going forward. But as we all know, I would just get rid of the local player rule. We're done.
But,
We don't need local players anymore.
That's why you're on this podcast, Jared, and not an IPL general manager.
That's
That'll never
exactly why.
happen.
And 100%. I thought I was the most rogue pick ever to be even asked to do that job, if we're being honest. I was like, you what now? The woman was so excited too. She kept saying, you're like the ideal candidate. And I went, you haven't Googled me at all.
I'm just imagining what Jared would have done. Like 5 games at the same time, 16-man substitutions,
Yeah.
no local rules.
No,
That's off the top of my head. At
Pink
least.
balls, not white balls. It would have been absolute chaos if I'd have been involved, right? Absolutely. But yeah, that was a few years back now anyway. But anyway, guys, I got to leave. I think we've done everyone though.
Yeah.
We've done everyone. Yeah.
Apologies if I know someone didn't like the graphics, but just to remind you, we didn't make the graphics. We just took them off cricket.com. So they are.
I think they said
are.
that Nandre Burger is still there in Rajasthan Royals, which is, I think, that definitely bumps
And
up
Pretorius,
how
I
we are
think
rating
that's
their
what the
team
other one.
quite a bit.
That's it.
Because if they have another seam bowling option, you take that, right?
I mean, it bumps it up a little bit, not like
Yeah, not
huge amount.
yeah,
for
fair
me.
enough. Yeah, not a lot, but
I mean,
it just
have an option.
gives.
Nandre Baker is 30, and has played 6 games in the IPL. I suppose he was okay last year. Yeah, I'll give.
Yeah.
No, not last year. The year before.
24.
The year before.
But he didn't play
for
last
Mumbai,
year. Is
I
my
think.
point. So
yeah, he didn't play last
I
year.
like
yeah.
Berger though. I think he's a decent new ball option.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a good bowler. I think I also like
So
his
it,
bowling.
it gives them like more depth in their
He
pace
can't just
bowling
be your
attack.
best bowler. That's the issue, I think.
No,
we're
that's
getting
fair.
to this
That's fair.
I think the
that's
big
for
question. I would
Jofra.
rather have Kotsia in that role though than Berger.
As a new
Depends
ball
on what role they're looking at, no?
Yeah, but as
But
an
new
overall
ball bowling, you'd
bowler, I
rather-
mean,
Kudzi can bat also.
he can
Yeah.
hit.
He can hit.
can
yeah.
hit a bit.
I mean,
Batting.
he can hit. Yeah. I love it.
You know, that's the Tim Southey rule of
One
he
of
can
these
bat.
days,
He can
we
hold
need
a.
to
He
do
can
it.
physically hold a bat.
I think one of these days we should do a quick picks on bowlers people think can bat but are useless at batting.
But that's just Tim Southey 15 times.
I think
is it,
Varun
Tim
will pick
Southee?
Saurav Ganguly first.
I'm
Chris
not
Jordan
taking any Tim
is
Southee
another one.
disrespect.
Chris
He has
Jordan
how
as
many
well,
sixes
right,
does he
Jared? You
have
keep saying
again
this.
in tests?
Chris Jordan's a good one. Shane Warne.
He could
Shane
bat
Warne.
though.
Bradley maybe?
I
No, but
wouldn't allow
Bradley
that.
was okay, I think.
I
Shane-
won't allow that, Jared. I won't allow
Shane
Shane
Warne
Warne
will
to bat.
always have 2005, right? So you can never...
Okay, the best one has to be Cummins, who there's so much
Yeah,
hype
just
for his
Spencer,
batting,
though,
and he
I
has
think.
not made a lot of runs in his
You're
life.
right. People say he's an all-rounder, and that's taking it too far. I think.
He's
That's
like
fair.
he averages
He's not an
16,
all-rounder.
doesn't he?
He has a 14 ball IPL 50.
But
Oh,
that's what I
Joffre's a
mean.
good one.
And he's played
Joffre's
some
a very good
incredible
one. Joffre's a
innings
good
in
one,
Test
yeah.
cricket as well, right? But if
Yeah,
you
no, that's why
actually-
people think
Yeah.
he can bat because
But
he
if
has
you look
this
at him
one
overall,
outlier. Yeah.
like he demoted himself down the order again behind Mitchell Stark. Like him and Mitchell Stark are in a shit off, right? Because they keep like trying to move each other down the order. Mitchell Johnson's a really good one on this, right? Of like, oh, he could bat. It's like again,
But he averages like 20, doesn't he, in tests?
I feel like
someone's
you just
around
say
20,
naming-
it's
that's
okay.
he
Number
averages.
11, you can bat.
You got to
No,
remember
Akash
that.
Deep
Like,
is someone who can't bat. But
You're
people
not an
think he can bat.
all-rounder, but that's okay. That's handy batting, I think.
Yeah.
You take that. Stark,
take
They're your
Johnson.
replacement number 8 at that point with the bat. Like, I think
Tim
that's
Southee is
Jofra.
definitely. Tim Southee.
Joffre is another one. Joffre.
Yeah.
The problem
He's-
with Joffre was he made a lot of runs before he played for England,
Yeah.
and then never made another run. Ryan Harris is an interesting one as well. Of like people
yeah.
were talking Ryan Harris up as an all-rounder, and he's had one innings in the IPL where he won an IPL with the bat.
No, Joffre had a full IPL season, right, where he was
Yeah.
just hitting sixes and all, and he was the MVP, the 2020.
MVP,
yeah.
Yeah. And Rajasthan
Joffre
were
can
last
hit.
that season. Yeah.
Joffre can hit, like but he's not. He's not a batter, is he? He's just.
But even his hitting has become very, unreliable. Like
yeah.
he should at least be hitting once every 2 or 3 games. It's more like once every 4 or 5 games now.
I think I wonder where Gus Atkinson fits in this conversation as well.
I mean, he's got a Lord's 100, Jared. That's such an
Yeah, he's got-
100, and he almost won that other Test match as well.
Give him some
But I'm
credit.
still not
Yeah.
convinced he can bat, right? Oh, actually, it's
What
actually.
did Gus Atkinson do to you? You don't think he can bat? You don't think he can bowl?
Actually,
What's the
I love his fielding.
Actually, who would pick Gus Atkinson in? Which IPL team would pick him? Where would he fit? CSK.
to Gus Atkinson?
They've already got Overton though, don't they?
I think
Oh yeah,
have
they
one
have
overseas.
Overton. Yeah.
That will confuse the hell out of me because I always say Atkinson when I mean Overton and Overton when I mean Atkinson as it is. He's a pretty good wicket taker in T20 cricket. I'm just having a look. He
I feel
averages
like the
21.
only person who thinks Harshit can bat is the Indian management, right? I don't think any fan thinks he can bat.
Who?
Like, I think
Harshit Rana.
Bruce Bayless. Yeah, I don't think any of us.
There
think
is
he
an
can bat.
element of him. He's another really good example of
Yeah,
like.
but I don't think anyone thinks he can bat, Jared. Like people think Cummins could is his number
No.
7 around, so there's a difference.
No, there are people who think he can bat. They are making
Really?
and making the calls in the Indian team. So they do think he can bat.
But isn't
Like,
that
he
more
likes his
batting
thinking
depth rather than actually thinking that he can bat? I don't
Isn't that
really
the
think
same
they
thing,
rate his
though?
batting all that highly. No, but that's like Stark or Cummins type.
They-
Like he can
they
hold a
sent
bat,
him
but
at
he
Not
can't-
six.
Cummins level batter at this point, is he?
Maybe just for experimentation. I don't think
Yeah.
that means that they actually rate his batting that highly.
Broad's
Just yet.
another good one, right? Like
Broad, yeah.
Like I had this argument with Harmy the other day of like we were trying to remember which Test match England used Broad as a number 7 in. And I thought it was Headingley, and he said it was somewhere else. But let me see if I can find it. But the idea that Stuart Broad ever batted at number 7 for England in a Test match is just so bizarre. And like there were plenty of people. Let's see if I can find. Comes up with these bowling stats first.
Even
There
he
were
has a
plenty-
test century, right, Broad?
Yeah. What
he
game was
has.
it?
Pakistan.
Yep.
Oh,
With
it was the
169,
Mohammad
right?
Amir game, the
It
Asif
was.
Amir game. Oh, okay.
Actual
Broad
game
169.
with fixing
Yeah.
in it.
He
Leeds.
bats at 7 at Ports of Spain, Lords and Leeds. So yeah.
Yep. So he batted. I think the Lords one. Actually, I'm not sure. No, that was first innings. So yeah, for 2 Test matches, England decided. Sorry, 3 Test matches, England decided Stuart Broad was the number 7. And there are all these people who will tell you that he got hit in the head by Murray Aaron, and that's what ruined his batting. His batting average was already dipping. He just happened to make 100 in a ridiculous game, and no one had worked out how to bowl to him yet. Do you know when Morne Morkel first started? Morne had this beautiful back foot punch through the covers, and I remember people go, maybe Morne Morkel's an all-rounder, right? Like Like literally, you only need to, as a tail ender, play like 3 pretty shots, and you're an all rounder, right? Like it is
KG Rabada.
absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, Rabada
Yeah,
is
but
another
that's what I was up
really
to
good
say.
example of that.
You can never convince
But
me
I'm
he
not
doesn't
taking
have
any
his
Rabada
cricket with the
disrespect.
bat.
Brian Charles Rabada, his cover drive is the best in the game.
But
So
I was about to say he looks really good while batting, man. Rabada when he's driving.
He does.
Easily the best cover driver in
sure.
modern cricket.
All right, I'm going to go, guys, because
I'll
I'm going to
take
do
you on
something
this.
else.
All right,
You
let's
guys
go. I
can
think
sit here as
I'll
long
do
as
that.
you want. Or is that it? We all ending.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry about outro this.
There's the
Yeah,
outro. We're
So-
done.
Yeah, but you can go to our Patreon page for more fun stuff like this and be a part of the community. Yeah, you absolutely should. And it's on patreon.com/goodareas or something like that. And
This video is brought to you by our supporters on Patreon. If you want to be part of the community that makes content like this, head over now.